Hi everybody, today is Wednesday, May 6th, 2020. I'm Liz and coming to you from Laguna Beach, Florida. So, we've been doing a series on ending of timelines, and we didn't start out with this necessarily being a series per se. It was more of, hey, everybody just felt this big energy shift, and it was around the beginning of April, not surprising. And what's going on with this? And where we ended up going with it was a lot of people were ending timelines. And by that, we just mean sort of some of the things that you thought you were going to be doing maybe like abruptly changed. And it actually ended up getting a little bit deeper than that. Like even some people, some things from the past, like they were almost like erased from their minds. And it felt a little bit more like, hey, we're taking a hard left here. And then we got a little bit into manifestation and some of the things to be doing to set yourselves up for the best outcome for when this sort of cycle ending transpires and then we move into whatever's going to be new. So I have to say I was a little nervous and apprehensive about doing this reading today. Not posting the reading. The very first one, I was a little nervous not to do the reading. That was fine, just posting, because this recording and all is very new to me. But doing the reading itself was nothing that brought about any sort of nerves. But I sort of did this time, and not in this way that anything's gonna be bad. Nothing with this is ever really bad anyway, by the way. It just is what it is, and we are where we are in it. But it was more of an excitement, like a first day of school kind of thing. And it was just strange. I woke up with that energy of it started today. And so that's where we're going to go today. That's not where I intended to go. As of last night, what we were going to talk about was some heavy energy that people were reporting feeling over this past weekend. A lot of things coming up from the past to be dealt with, and we're still going to allow that to come up and allow that to come in. I actually have 3 decks spread out here today, so I imagine some of that's going to come in. As you guys know, I'm not an astrologer, but I do know that we have the Scorpio full moon coming up. And as we know, Scorpio is all about bringing things in from the shadows. So that was probably where a lot of that was coming from, and we're still gonna allow that to come in. But what I really wanna ask about is what was going on this morning where it just felt like it started. So I'm just gonna go right into it. And I haven't had a chance to really bounce that off anybody yet, so I may be the only one, but I don't think so. The first thing that came up is the devil. Make sure you guys can see him. He just fell out of the deck, so I want to read him really quickly, see what he's trying to tell us, because I got him last night in a reading that I was doing myself, didn't record. So the devil is all about the chains that we put on ourselves. It is maybe habits we want to break. It's maybe things we want to be free of, things that no longer serve us. And that was speaking to the energy last night where I was reading on what is this heavy energy that's going on. And this may end up being a tool for this next phase of the timeline ending and the new thing coming in. But I just wanted to share that he just kind of fell out of the deck and said, hey, before we ever started. Okay. Any messages for the collective? I'm just going to call it an energy shift because it is, right? Okay. So first thing we start with, the Empress. The Empress is creation. The Empress is bringing life. The Empress is bringing it to the forefront, and my legs are tingling right now. So I think we're definitely onto something, that something has begun. And we flip more cards before we really know for sure on this, but I really get that some people are going, yeah, I've been knowing about this for like a few weeks. And some are going, yeah, I've been knowing about this, but I have no idea what it is, and it's driving me crazy. And some are going, I don't know what you're talking about. And I feel like this is going to speak more to the second group of, yes, I absolutely feel that right now. Or something just ended, but I don't know where I'm going. I think that that's going to be where we're going to focus a little bit more today, but let's see. Okay, what else do you want to tell us? What's before us? What's before us? Okay, the star, I got that last night. The star is, don't worry about it. So yeah, I definitely think we're going to be speaking a little bit more towards the people who are a little unsure of their footing and what's going on. And probably a lot of you guys are going, yeah, now that you mention it, I really feel like something new came in. I don't know what it is. It might have felt light, or there might have been like a little anxiety, but nothing like this heavy feeling of dread. And you know what's crazy? What I was getting last night is heavy dread. And it just felt really gone this morning. But then also just like this apprehensive, like I've got to go do something and I don't really know what, like the anxiety dream where you're going to school even though you've been out of school for a while and you're like, I don't know where English class is, I don't have a book, kind of that kind of feeling a little bit. But the star comes in and tells you it's going to be okay. Like, okay, I'm gonna flip a couple more on this with this deck, because it's like, is it being masked a little bit because it's like not time, because that's coming a lot for folks, like it's not time, don't worry about it. Knight of Swords, no, it's time. All right, okay, so it seems more like it's a little bit of what's going on with people's brains a little bit right now, like, okay, it's time, but you're not quite there because you're like a little bit all over the place. And I got the Four of Cups, and remember we got him before, and this is like a little feeling of apathy, but it's like, it's okay. It's all right, it's okay, don't worry about it. All right, so the Knight of Swords is not a slow moving energy at all, which is a little bit in contrast to this. Okay, but I kind of get just like some things still moving on, going on behind the scenes, which makes me believe that this is for the second group, the people that are like a little unsure. They feel it, but they don't know where it's going. That going, hey, you're still kind of getting it together a little bit, and that's completely understandable, and some things are going on behind the scenes. Wonder if it's this guy. I'm gonna get these cards so jumbled up. Just felt like there was some kind of big stuff today. Yeah, Four of Pentacles, I've been getting him. There's my Nine of Swords. There's my Nine of Swords. That's what's happening. And death. All right, don't be scared of death. Actually, don't be scared of any of this. It explains everything perfectly, I think. So this Four of Pentacles is a little bit of like holding back to yourself. Like maybe you know about some kind of opportunity or something, and you're like, I'm really not sure, because Nine of Swords, he's been all over the place lately. That's anxiety, that's mental kind of stuff. But the good news about him is like that's usually unfounded, and unfounded doesn't mean to, it's not intended to invalidate anything. It's just saying it's going to be okay. It's just kind of what you've been going through. And then death is endings. So I really get for you folks that are feeling like that new coming in, you're feeling that, but you have no idea where it's going, or you don't know how to focus it in, that maybe just wait a couple weeks. Maybe just wait a little while and let some things kind of naturally clear on their own. And to see the Knight of Swords come in with this, I'm like, yeah, this is, if the universe can make us feel this intensely, it can move some things out for us as well. And we've been getting look for signs and those sorts of things. So I really feel, and I feel like over here with this deck, we're going into that heavy energy a little bit, maybe a little bit with that Scorpio moon. Maybe, we're going to do some learning lessons, because the thing about these learning lessons is that you've kind of got to have them, because you don't want to bring certain things into new with you. I think that's it. I think that's it completely. That's like, we still have a little cleanup work to do, but everybody's on the right track. So, we don't really want to worry about that so much. Now all I need is a third deck to go on here so I can get thoroughly confused. All right, so what got us here? What got us here? All right, the Hierophant. We're drawing a lot of majors today. So we've talked about this before, but when we get your majors, that's your big life events, and your minors are kind of like your day-to-day stuff. We're getting just like a lot of majors today, which backs up what I was kind of thinking, that it's a little big. It's big. The Hierophant's all about tradition. He used to be the Pope, and now he's the Hierophant. But what does tradition mean to you? Can mean breaking from tradition. When we're talking about a whole lot of change and we're talking about a whole lot of upheaval and flux states, could very well mean breaking from a tradition. And yeah, so a lot of people were reporting that certain things that they were dealing with sort of energetically, like, just became not relevant. And it was like, I don't even need to revisit that anymore. Like, in some cases, like, I barely even remember that. So if that's you, know, like, you're not the only one. This is a collective reading, so you wouldn't be. And, you know, some things are kind of breaking away, and if that's happening, it's okay to let it. It's fine. Got him yesterday too. Got both of those yesterday too. So we've got the King of Wands and the Two of Cups. And I pull these together at the same time because, depending on who you ask, one's near past, one's near future. They're so close together, near past and near future. Just take a look at it both together and let it tell the story. So, and here we have like our Two of Cups, and this is partnerships. And you know, Cups is like more your heart, your intuition, your feelings, and unions. And we were really questioning there for a while because this guy just shows up and shows up and shows up. Is this a collaboration and a partnership with other people? Or is this the universe and spirit energetically partnering with individuals to assist them if they're following their intuition? And we just weren't sure, so we just sat with it. I really kind of think it's both. I think it's both, which is really good. And what else do you want to tell us about that? What do you want to tell us about that? Okay, there's the rest. That's where that comes in. That's where that comes back in. Not much. They kind of just want us to sit with that one. Oh, but then we get, you know, the Emperor, a major card. So maybe they do want to tell us some things. So everybody's really been, not everything's going to resonate with everybody, but a lot of people have been going through a period of rest, reflection, figuring things out, working on things, etc. And we're supposed to parking lot that because we got him before. We got Seven of Wands before, and that's like a little bit of competition. I got that on one-on-ones a few times, and I was told just to parking lot that. Just know it's there, not really go into it too much at this time. Yeah, every time we get this and this theme and these together, it's like a little cloudy around it. And that's been going on for like 3 weeks right now, and it's been the same cards, and it's real cloudy around that. So we're just going to say we keep getting unions. I do feel pretty clearly that that is going to be a combination of universal energy and actual collaborations. But what's going on around that, I don't think that we're ready to get that message yet. That's been happening a lot in the past month. It's, hey, it comes up, it keeps coming up, it's here. Don't focus too much on that right now. We've gotten some real specific guidance on where to put our attention. So we're going to move on. All right, so Six of Wands, this is victory. This is the goals and destiny position. That's victory. So that's really kind of fantastic to see. And he's sitting right above the star. So I'm getting like really firmly that this is good stuff. And what we're being told is guidance on how to set ourselves up for that best outcome, which is where we've really always gone with this. I don't really want to modify that one any further. It's going to be fine. And there is some things intentionally omitted right now because we're not ready to process that. Is that right? We're not ready to process that just yet. And so we need to stop asking. Is that what we're getting? Oh, yeah. Okay. all I had to say. Yeah, Nine of Cups, the wish card. You know, we talked about manifestation a lot in the last video. If you haven't watched that, check it out. There was some very, very specific guidance, and they were super chatty that night about what it is that we wanted to be wishing for our presents and futures, and how it is we needed to go about setting ourselves up for the best outcome on that. And just basically said, you know, there's some universal energy around that. So I'm getting strongly just to move on and stick with the message of, yeah, that's going to be okay. That's going to be okay. If you do your work, if you do what you're supposed to do, you know what you're supposed to do, and everything will turn out favorably for you with the situation that you are working towards. I have so many different decks mixed up here. All right, okay. Yep. Give me a second. Questioner in their present position. This questioner in this case is the collective. I did get the Ten of Pentacles, and that is a very favorable card. I tend to look at that at completion, but in a very meaningful way. And for someone who's starting something new, this came in last night. For someone that's starting something new and you did a whole lot of work before, that's going to set you up well, and you can bring those things into the new. It's almost like what I got last night was almost like, all right, cut. All right, let's look at what's done. Let's look at what needs to still be worked on, and let's make a decision on where this is going. That's just honestly what I got. So, you know, it was a little disconcerting to me in the beginning, because it was kind of like I did get this, and it says, okay, there's some things that are still undone. Well, nobody's perfect, right? So it's not so much of a you messed up as, okay, well, here's where we're at, right? Okay, wow, yeah, that came in real strongly. Nothing's bad. It is what it is. You're at where you're at. So just a little bit of like an evaluation process, a little bit. Any messages for the collectives on that? King of Cups, yeah, I got him. Abundance. And Knight of Cups messages. Yeah. Yeah. Because it really just, I mean, I just really get like decisions are being made right now. People are making decisions. They're trying to figure out, okay, what it is you don't have all the facts. You don't have all the facts. People have been separated from one another, separated from situations. You can only get so much off like a Zoom meeting, and people don't have all the facts. Okay, that's why you don't need to worry about it. Don't worry about things that you don't know about yet. They'll come. And I'm just like really strongly getting that some people have done some really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing that. You showed up over here, didn't you? You sure did. This card that I keep get that's like a little meh, apathy. I still get it's nothing to worry about. You don't have all the facts. How can you know exactly how you're supposed to proceed without all the information? You can't. All right, so this guy goes with what we've been seeing over here, the Hermit. So he is a major, and he's all about going inside, reflecting, doing inner work, meditation, those sorts of things. And it goes with what's going on over here. So I really get like for some of you, some endings just came for some of you. So, okay, we got to play a little catch up here, because everybody's cycles ended at a little different time, and it'll begin a little bit of different time, and that's okay. But we're doing a collective reading, so when the end is for some is going to be a little earlier or later than it is from others. So I feel like we might be revisiting some things here. So if this doesn't resonate with you, you're like, I've already done and I've already started and I've got my plans and I'm just ready for just to be able to do it, that's fine. But for some, it's still a little bit of internal work and like a really good time to do this, because there is going to be some delays for some folks on getting back into the swing of things. And then we have that Scorpio full moon, which is an awesome time to take care of any of that stuff you think you need to. All right. I was going to keep going after this, but I'm not going to. I say that and I will. But this is the outcome, and this is the Magician. This is technically the first card in the major. Really, it's the Fool, but he's a 0. He's a wild card. He's a go forth with abandon kind of thing. He's his own animal. The Magician is the start of something. And when I get this, it feels very magical. It's the Magician. It feels magical. But in a lot of decks, he's got all the elements laid out in front of him, the cups, the wands, the swords, and the pentacles, and he's got the infinity symbol over his head. He is the number 1, and he's pointing up, above, and he's pointing below. And this just says, you have all the elements that you need. You have everything that you need, and it's going to be okay. So, any other messages for the collective before we wrap up? Because I like to end on a good note. I don't know about you guys. Wait, hold. Okay. This is just a little bit about, I think that this full moon in Scorpio is going to be a little bit significant for folks, just in the terms of some work being done. So if anybody has any like heavy moments, just don't worry about it. Just see what it's trying to show you, and just a little bit longer. 9 of Wands is like a little bit of a pause in progress. And hey, that would make sense if we're taking some time out to deal with this moon and whatever it shoves at us. Then we would need a little bit of time for that. And again, the Empress, which is really, really interesting because we're ending where we began. Creation, energy of life, and having all the elements that we need to be able to create that. So I think we're going to end there. Thank you so much. Again, I am Liz, and I have a feeling we might be ending our series on the ending of timelines here soon. And then hopefully when that happens, we'll see where we go, and maybe we'll start a new one on beginning our new timelines. So everybody have a great day. Talk soon.